Moving forward, the last thing we're going to talk about when you want to grow your business using Facebook ads, or really any paid media, we've already determined that ROAS isn't the path because we're not hunters. We want to be farmers, right? Civilization was not built on how much meat one person could bring home today. It was built on how much corn and wheat can one person grow for 100 people, right? We're scaling a business. Very different conversation. And we're acquiring future cash flows that are profitable to acquire. If I have to pay $100 to go buy $120, I'll do that every single day. And if I say, well, I can't afford to do that because I'm bootstrapped and I have to make every dollar make sense for me, great. How long does that last? Is it a month? Is it 2 months? Is it 3? And at that point, what is the product that most likely gets somebody to buy a second time? Because when you get them to buy a second time, that number also improves. Oh, I'm bootstrapped. I can't get people to do stuff. Well, okay, what's the product that's most likely to get somebody to come back and buy a second time? Let's sell that one. What is the cadence on which they buy that second product? Great. On that day, the people are more likely to buy a second product. From that day, you're no longer going to have the excuse of I'm a bootstrap brand. I need to be profitable on day one, because now you are in a business that is growing, built on the lifetime value of a profitable customer journey, and you are acquiring that journey for less money than it is worth. That's it. Think of it as savings bonds, right? You are investing in a maturing asset. Now, what this does ultimately, when you find the offer that best fits this, is it gives you singularity. And the greatest thing about the singularity, not only mentally and also architecturally, like you can now promote your entire Facebook ad account can be basically one campaign, promoting everything to basically one product. And you can do landing page testing, you do conversion rate testing, you can do second purchase rate improvements, you can do, and when they come back and buy multiple times, you can also do AOV improvements on all of those things. So you can try to make each transaction actually worth more money in and of itself, so that LTV continues to go up. For example, I have a clothing business. We found that the bra, when a woman buys the bra, there's, of the women that buy a second time, 80% of them buy again between 20 and 40 days. Great. We're going to focus on that thing, because that means we're going to have a 50% chance of, we know we're going to be able to pay our bills on time, and we got a 50% chance or better of ultimately getting somebody to come back and buy that product, or potentially have a profitable customer journey. And what that ultimately means with that business, people that do buy and people that don't, netting out all those fun numbers. Ultimately, what that means is now we focus on that. What do? We spend all of our ads on that one thing. Now let's try to improve the AOV. Great. How do we do that? Well, let's try a 3+1 offer. The upsell on that landing page being, hey, if you buy 3 of them, you get 1 of them for free. Great. Now the AOV of that first purchase goes from 1 bra to the purchase of 3 bras. We basically potentially have triple the AOV. Now, really, it went from about 45 to about 65, 70. It almost doubled, because, to be fair, about 30, 40% of women were like, you know what? I'll take the buy 3, get 1 free, because it's free returns. Why not? And if I like it, maybe they come back and buy the buy 3, get 1 free again. If you just bought buy 3, get 1 free and you like the product, you're going to come back and pay full price for a single one? Probably not. And we've raised the price from 30 to 40 bucks. Now, that customer journey where really their AOV started about 40 bucks, their LTV is $240. That's a fundamentally different conversation. How much can I afford to acquire a customer worth $240? If there's $240 lying down on the street, how much money can I spend to get it? It's a very different conversation than this customer on average spends $40. How much can I spend to acquire that transaction? That is a very different conversation. And ultimately, that meant a 10x scaling of the business to a mid $20 million company in less than 9 months. That's how you grow a business using Facebook ads. And really what this means is, when you have that singularity, you can focus your testing, your landing page testing, your conversion rate testing, your customer journey testing. And ultimately, as you improve the second purchase rate, and as you build the ads around this, and you figure out the positioning and the business model that best fits your needs for growth, it becomes infinitely easier to manage. And at the end of the day, what this means is you want a singularity of product and a singularity of the type of customer that you're bringing in. Now, when we talk about singularity, one of the things we have to, keep in mind is that the more audiences you run, the more different types of customers you're going to get. Now, maybe there's something similar between all of these different interest groups and all these different lookalikes of the people that you're bringing in, but you're effectively targeting different groups of people. To think that you're not attracting the same type of, like you are attracting the same type of person, even with wildly different targeting audiences, even with wildly different ads for each one of those targeting audiences, to say that, well, the person that comes in is basically the sale the same, is, well, it makes no sense. So instead, well, what if we just go broad and we focus on the ad concepts that work the best? And based on that concept, we are appealing to the marketing angles and niches and psychology and whatever else that we're looking after that ultimately best brings in a customer who's more than likely to buy more than once. Well, when we only have 2 or 3 marketing angles in those concepts that attract people in, we don't have 10 campaigns with 5 different audiences with 5 different ads in it that's effectively up to 250 different types of people. We have 3. And the odds are there's a pretty high overlap between those 3 people and how they engage with our business. And we don't need to solve for every single person. We just need to solve for the net majority. And if we can solve for the net majority of 3 people to make that customer worth more money to us by the time they're stopped spending money with us, that's a much simpler problem to solve, and we're going to grow a lot faster. Because at the end of the day, what also you have to keep in mind is, how many tests are you running? How expensive is it? How confident are you with the outcomes of any one of those tests? If you're running 5 different products and landing pages for each one with an individual email flow for each one and having to get customer service for each one of those different products, and then all the upsells and all the ads and all this other stuff, how many moving parts do you have in your business? And when we say what we need to do is grow our business 10% next month, what are you going to do? That's an insanely complicated situation versus saying we've got one product that we absolutely know we can acquire a profitable customer journey on this with extreme confidence, and that cash flow generally looks like a purchase on this day, and 80% of people buy a second time within this time, and ultimately that person over time is worth X. Great. Well, we have maturing cash flows and customer journeys happening all the time because we're getting new sales every day, new customers every day, maturing customers every single day. Well, now if we don't spend any money on ads, we're going to have revenue coming in for weeks or months. All that revenue that's coming in is money that theoretically, if we just broke even on ads, would be pure profit. And what if we spent some of it so that we could grow faster? You can't do that if you've got 10 different products. You can't do that if you're using targeting audiences. If you're chasing around different audiences and having different CPAs and different ROASs and different offers, there's no way that you're going to be able to ultimately get your business down to this. Well, how do I improve the second purchase rate of the product that most likely drives a profitable customer journey? You can't solve that problem. And when I say, what are you going to do in 3 months to grow the business? What is the 6-month plan to double the business? What is, if I want to make sure that whatever I did in the last 12 months, I'll do in the next 6. You can't solve that problem if you're promoting a bunch of different things in a bunch of different places, because you have no idea what you can expect tomorrow. Because you're investing in depreciating assets, solving 20, 30, 50, and the one example we gave, 250 different problems. That's really hard. Or you could get really good. And the other fun side of this thing, when you're using Facebook ads, is that when you teach Facebook ads to do one thing really well, imagine how much better it will be in 3 months than if you asked to do 10 things. If you had one job when you showed up to the work today, how much better at that job do you think you're going to be in 100 days? Versus if you had 20 things to do each day. How many reps are you going to get doing that job if you have to do 20 different things? How many mistakes are you going to be able to learn from if you have to do 20 different things versus one? I'd argue, realistically, you're going to be 20 to 30 times better doing just the one thing over that 100 days. Or way more than that. Because as soon as you start to unlock second purchase rate and you go from 5% to 10, or you get your conversion rate of your landing page from 2% to 2.1. As soon as you start to unlock these things, or you improve the AOV of one transaction from 40 bucks to 60, what if that happens on both transactions? Now you made 40 more dollars. Like, once you access singularity at the front of the marketing, you allow yourself to be open to the force multiplication of all of these optimization efforts. Because if you're chasing audiences that live and die, that's customers that are coming in where one day you got a whole bunch of customers that look like something, and then a month later, you never see those customers again. How many landing page optimizations did you make based on the audience that you were attracting, based on that interest group that you were running, that now you no longer spend on? What about that product that was doing great as in one audience, and then you tried to pivot to a different audience and a different lookalike, and that product wasn't as good because the ROAS was better someplace else? What did your email journey look like to get that customer to come back and buy again? How complicated is the system that you're trying to run? And ultimately, I'll end with this. This is the big difference between what I see the vast majority of ad agencies talking about. And look, really smart people. I was just at Geek Out, and several people were on stage giving really good advice on how to be the best hunter you can. To basically not get fired as the marketer. And I'm here to help you understand that that doesn't mean nearly as much as how to actually grow your business. Because at the end of the day, why are you spending money on ads anyway? Is it so that you can have an agency that you don't want to fire? Or is it so that you can make way more money? If you want to grow your business, you can't be looking at ROAS. YouTube thinks you might like a couple of these things. Go ahead and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you on the internet.